Hello everyone, today we are going to disassemble GPD Win Max 2. Main goal is to replace my keyboard, do a repaste and do some modding. You will need some kind of tray to hold your screws since there will be a lot of them. I'm going to use iFixit one. Also, I will be using iFixit screwdriver and bits. Make sure that your device is turned off. Let's start with bottom cover. You will need to remove all the screws excluding cover screws for a second NVMe drive and 4G module. Don't forget the screws on the back. After that, you can simply take off the cover. I will be removing my thermal pads that I have added to help cooling a bit. Now we need to remove fan and then NVMe drive, and only after those are removed we will be able to disconnect battery. Make sure to disconnect speaker wires, wireless antennas and rumble motors from motherboard. After removing 4 screws that are holding the battery, you will be able to take it out. At this point, I would suggest removing power button since it will be easier to keep track where goes what. Make sure to use prying tool and slowly cut between adhesive and black keyboard cover since we will need it for assembly. Now we can start with removing motherboard screws. Good thing with GPD is that they are using same screws for almost everything. I would also suggest removing both shoulder button assemblies. Don't forget your SD card since this will prevent you from taking the motherboard out. Also, you could break your card if you try to take the motherboard with card in it. Now I will be removing both daughter boards since it will be easier to take the motherboard out. At the end, I will remove right shoulder button assembly. This way does not need to be disconnected, but if you want to take it apart, you will need to be careful and go from top side and unlatch small metal latches that are holding this connector. After that, you can take out the motherboard. Now, keyboard back cover have a rather strange design, to say at least. You can try to take it clean apart, but it will take some time, so be patient. After that is removed, we can see back of the keyboard itself. There is a ton of screws. You will need to remove all of them to be able to remove the keyboard. To remove the keyboard, you will need to take it out from the top side since buttons have some screw mounting spots that will prevent you from taking it out upwards. Now we are going to do the same thing just in reverse. But maybe it is better to take a few minutes of rest since now we need to put all those small screws back. Now to put the new backlight cover, you will need to remove protective plastic sheets. I would suggest starting from the bottom for the same reasons as for keyboard. Align the cover with the frame and then start from the middle, making sure that cover is properly glued to the back of the keyboard. Now we will need to use provided sticker to secure the ribbon cable to the back of the cover. Now we can put back the motherboard and screw it in place. As mentioned, I'm going to do repasting. First I will need to remove all thermal paste and clean this mess. At this point I am putting back both daughter boards. Now I'm going to put back shoulder button assemblies, and for the record, they are officially CAT approved. Don't forget your power button and fingerprint assembly and connect the ribbon cable back to the motherboard. I will be using helpfull Apex paste since that is my favorite mix of performance and usability. I'm also going to use some thermal pads on memory modules and VRM MOSFETs to make them same height as chokes. At this point we can put the battery assembly back in place and screw it down. Make sure that everything is reconnected as it was before. Now we can put back NVMe drive and screw it down. I am putting back my custom cut thermal pad to transfer heat from VRMs to heat pipes and help dissipating it. Extra function of this pad is that heat pipes will better share heat, and with that dissipation will be much more efficient. I'm also going to use thin foam under the fan mounting holes to eliminate any vibration when fan is spinning. After that we can screw the fan back in place and clean top of the heatsink with some alcohol. I'm going to use thin copper tape to replace plastic one. It will help to spread heat evenly and will have same function as plastic one in terms of directing air. Use a prying tool to glue it down and make it flat with top of the heatsink. Finally, I will be placing extra thermal pad onto the NVMe drive, since now it will be getting some extra heat from the memory underneath it. What is left is to screw the back cover back in place, and we are done with this project. Also, if you use SD card, don't forget to put it back into the slot. Keyboard fitment turned out to be great. Of course, with time everything will settle down to be perfect. I will be keeping old one in case I need to replace some keycaps. This was not the easiest disassembly, but also not the hardest. Take your time and all will be fine. I will be testing this device and see what I can improve, so stay tuned for my final review. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and consider subscribing. Cheers!